Well, welcome back as we explore Co-Diagnostics, a molecular diagnostic company trading on the NASDAQ under CODX. We are privileged to be joined by Dwight Egan, the CEO, to kind of give us a brief overview of the company milestones and what we can look forward to. But first and foremost, welcome, sir.
It's great to be with you. Nice to be engaged in a dialogue with you, Kyle.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to get you on. And I just want to dive into this. Firstly, for newer audiences, maybe give us a brief introduction to what Co-Diagnostics does and its technologies.
So Co-Diagnostics is a molecular diagnostics company. We focus on polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, which everybody kind of got used to the use of that terminology during COVID. It is the gold standard according to the CDC. And we have done something very unique with it. We have taken what normally would be a $10,000 or $20,000 PCR box, and we've miniaturized it into a box that at scale is in the $300 to $500 range. It's about the size of a tissue box, and it's designed so that it can do very high line, high grade molecular diagnostics, but in a way that and at a price that makes it accessible, makes it affordable, and it's incredibly accurate. Hence, it's the gold standard, as the CDC likes to say about other methods of PCR. So it makes it so that it has an opportunity to fill the gap where this type of technology has not been available in the past. It's particularly well suited for doctors' offices and clinics, for pharmacies. We have over 60,000 pharmacies in the country. It's suitable for skilled nursing facilities, rest homes, where you have an elderly population that is particularly, problematic with upper respiratory things. You have to breathe to live. And so if you're in a skilled nursing facility, you want to know very quickly if you've got COVID going around, or if you've got RSV or flu A or flu B. And it also, has a place at the home, on your kitchen counter, on your bathroom counter eventually.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the insight there. And I mean, your stock and company went through this kind of parabolic phase during the pandemic, but since the transition, I mean, you guys have been pivoting a little bit, expanding the technology. Maybe talk about the roadmap and that transition that takes us to where we are today.
Well, back in January and February, March of 2020, nobody knew how long COVID was going to last. Maybe we thought, was it just going to last until the fall? But very early in that area, in about the April timeframe of 2020, we started trying to look around the corner as to what was going to be necessary, and we decided we were going to build it, and we hired a very good team of people that have been involved in this type of development before. We hired them, we paid them a substantial amount of money, and that has been the development process that we've been in the last 4 years, that has culminated in the production of this beautiful technology that includes a little PCR box that's about the size of a tissue box. It has a little cartridge that goes along with it. That is where the sample goes from a nose swab or a tongue swab. And then it has an ability to go into the cloud for the diagnosis. So it pairs via Bluetooth with the user's smartphone. You start the test on the smartphone, and the smartphone walks you through all the tutorials, shows you how to do the test. Once you've done a test, you wouldn't keep going through the tutorials. But once you push start, in about 30 minutes, you have a result back on your phone that you're positive or negative. And that's taken a route up into the cloud, down into a secure encrypted server, where the algorithms are analyzed with our technology and software to call it as being positive or negative. And then it goes back to your phone again in about 30 minutes. So, and what makes our technology even more apropos for what's going on in the world is that we have a fundamental underpinning technology, which we refer to as co-primers. It's a technology that enables us to multiplex in a way that's kind of in a class by ourselves. And by multiplexing, I mean that we can test for several different diseases with one sample, one patient, one 30-minute time frame. So this new disease panel that we just started clinical trials on we refer to it as the ABCR test, because it tests simultaneously for flu A, flu B, COVID, and RSV. And we have a human papillomavirus test, which is shortly going into clinical trials, that tests for 8 different human papillomavirus markers that are all heavy cancer markers, plus a human DNA control. So 9 different targets, 30 minutes. It's a really brilliant technology that makes it so it has tremendous efficiency, whether it's on your kitchen counter or whether it's at a doctor's office or a pharmacy or in a school nurse's office or wherever it's placed.
Yeah, no, this sounds absolutely huge. Do you want to speak maybe a bit more to the addressable market size? I mean, there's just a lot of different things you're trying to tackle here, and maybe give us a little bit of an idea of, are you guys mainly focused in the US? Is this kind of a global market that you're looking to go after? And just kind of give some insight there.
Yeah, we're definitely going for a global market. I mean, worldwide, you have about a $55 billion upper respiratory market now, which is predicted to grow by 2030 to more than $70 billion, 73 billion, I think it is. And that includes, you know, a lot of different places. We have a joint venture in India we've been doing for 8 years. So clearly we're going to be uh, going after that market with this new technology. We're going to be manufacturing these boxes in India through our joint venture with Coursera. We just announced, of course, what we're doing in the Middle East with our Saudi Arabian joint venture and with Arabian Eagle Manufacturing. And what's important to notice on that, Kyle, is that the guys that are running that show over there, they were our partner and were running on the show for us over there for all the time during the pandemic. And they were our largest, by far, our largest international customer. I mean, we sold tests in 50 plus countries. But these guys that are doing the joint venture with us at Arabian Eagle are really talented. They really know their territory. And of course, it doesn't just include Saudi Arabia, it includes 18 other countries that are all MENA countries that surround that area. So we're very enthused about what's going on there. And of course, we'll be taking it from there to Europe, to South America, to places in the Pacific Rim. There's nothing was more pervasive than everybody's got to breathe. So when you look at how many colds that we have, how many U.S. children have colds every year, and you got to differentiate it. You got to know whether it's flu A, flu B, COVID, RSV, so you don't treat the wrong thing with an antibiotic that's going to get you, in trouble and destroy the use of those types of antibiotics ultimately. So we're very enthused about the overall global market. We think this first test that we're taking through clinical trials is really the mother lode. It is a very needed and has a high demand for it. And then, of course, we have other tests that we'll be putting onto this platform, including tuberculosis, particularly aimed at low and middle income or LMIC countries. And we'll have a big, presence in India and in Africa, where almost half of all TB cases are in the world. And in India, you have 1,000 people a day that die. They die of tuberculosis, and it's a curable and treatable disease if it's treated enough and caught. So this kind of technology will really fill the gap and get testing away from just the big hospitals and the big clinics and down into the primary healthcare facilities where there's almost 30,000 of those. That's where our goals are with respect to what we're doing in those countries.
Yeah, absolutely. And truly incredible. And maybe just zooming in a little bit, do you want to give us a better understanding of the economic of the new platform and the PCR Pro instrument?
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes it so interesting is that we sort of build it around three different principles, and it's accessibility and affordability and accuracy. Those are the three things that you have to have. We haven't always had. And so when you get down to just the affordability question that you're asking, most of the kind of PCR devices that are out there in the market that are in big hospitals and that are in big clinics, big CLIA labs, and those sorts of things, they're 10, 14, 18, $20,000. Some of them require, power that's uninterrupted. Some of them require a cold chain for the products and so on and so forth. This little box that's about the size of a tissue box is $300 to $500 at scale instead of 10 to 20 grand. So in the old world, people can't afford it. That's why about 47% of the people in the world have no access to diagnostics at all. They're just not affordable. So we wanted to attack the affordability thing. And then, of course, we wanted to use the gold standard. That's where the accuracy comes in. And then we wanted it to be accessible. So when you look at the little cartridges that go into this little tissue-sized box, they've got lyophilized beads in them. in other words, they got freeze-dried reagents that are activated when you take what you get out of your nose and your throat, a little teeny vial of water that's put into the cup, and in it goes. You push the cell phone. The test goes from there up into the cloud and then down to a secured encrypted server where the actual algorithms go to work to call it positive or negative. And within approximately 30 minutes, that's back on the user's phone saying, you've got TB or you don't, or you've got flu. You got flu, but you don't have RSV and you don't have COVID, for example. I mean, it's really great technology. We're able to multiplex in that kind of environment, Kyle, because we have a coprimer technology that is our proprietary and patented technology that enables us to do a lot of things at once, a lot of diseases all at once, one patient, one sample. This is why the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation came to us and gave us money to develop both a tuberculosis test and a human papillomavirus test, and why the National Institutes of Health, through their Radix Tech program, gave us a grant to do this COVID and ABCR test that is now just went into clinical trials this week. So, and they see everything. So, they came to us and gave us the ability to be aggressive and develop these new products.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the insight here. And just to finish up, I guess for investors that are paying attention, I mean, why should they be looking at the stock right now? What kind of upcoming catalyst news should we be paying attention to?
Well, you should keep an eye on our clinical evaluations, which we just started. I mean, literally within the last couple of days. We've announced that we're in the pursuit of a SPAC transaction for our joint venture with Coursera in India. We've been there for 8 years. We have a tremendous infrastructure. We have manufacturing facilities. We have 15 tests that are already on the market there. That includes a lot of tests that using our older technology. Now we're going to be porting it over and doing a technology transfer of our, making these little boxes and our consumables that go along with that. They should be looking at of course, our joint venture with newly announced with Comera, with our Saudi Arabian partners. We're very enthused about that. These guys have a great track record. They've been very successful with our products in the past. And so we're really anxious to and glad that we've been able to formalize that arrangement and get it ready to go. And then, of course, we have our Primer AI initiative, which will just continue to embed in the future more and more artificial intelligence constructs into our value proposition. We've been doing that for years. We like to think we were AI before AI was cool, but we're very enthusiastic about where that's driving our technology as well.
On that, Dwight, we'll pass it off to the viewers as always. We'd love to know what you think, but we're going to leave the links and anything else that you'd like to explore down in the description below to deep dive it. And consider subscribing as news and catalysts come down the wire. We will update you here. But on that, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.